Hello, what have I been up to this week? I've made 2 pairs of Hudson pants. So a pair for my husband, a pair for me. And I know I've said it on my channel a million times, but fabric choice is key. And as usual, I chose slightly the wrong fabric. Welcome to my sewing room. My name is Carole. This is #Friday Sews, which I'm pleased to say is still alive and kicking. It was started, of course, by the lovely Jen from 10Jan's sewing room, who just started this whole movement off. We report to you every week about what we've been sewing, making, buying, and our problems along the way to keep it real. So on that theme of keeping it real, I made 2 pairs of Hudson pants this week. My husband desperately needed another pair because I made him a pair about 5 years ago and I will say it was a jersey, a cotton jersey. So I already had the pattern for that. It fitted him fine, so that was not a problem. I've also made myself 2 pairs in the past. I make it the high-waisted version. I think on last week's Friday Sews I showed you that the pattern had been altered. Now you can go onto the True Bias website and they do have the version to raise it up to high-waisted rather than, because that does come quite low. So I've made 2 pairs of these. They fit fine. In fact, the pair that I do have at the moment are almost baggy on me, and that was made out of a sweatshirt. So I ordered 2 pieces of sweatshirt from Minerva. And yes, they are thicker, definitely bulkier. Now for Chris's, it didn't seem to be much of a problem. They are much cozier, they fit him fine. So let's talk about those first. So as with Hudson pants, you have this lovely slanted pocket detail. Because the fabric is so chunky and so fat, I just used a piece of jersey just to do that detailing, and I thought it'd be a bit girly, but he absolutely loved it, so that was a win. The same fabric cuff bottoms, not a problem for him at all. He has worn these, so they're not pristine. I didn't bother to do the tie. He said don't bother. He never bothers with that anyway. So you've just got the sewing of the elastic, and really pleased with those. He loves them. They are very thick. So that wasn't the problem. So alarm bells didn't ring for me at all when I started to make them out of my fabric. Now I will say, what possessed me to make them out of a dusky pink colour, which is very close to skin colour? What was I thinking? I think I just wanted a different colour pair of joggers, for the navy or whatever. So that was a bit of a mistake, but I thought, don't worry, I can get away with that. Further down the line, if I really hate them that much, I've got a couple of pots of the machine dye, the Dylon machine dye, and I will just shove them in the washing machine with one of those and turn them into a different colour. So went ahead and made them up. Tried them on. Wow, they were tight. Now, as I said before, I've got a pair I wear about 5 times a week, and they are almost baggy, made out of a sweatshirt. But was it not polycotton? Was it a polyester, therefore giving it more stretch? This was a polycotton, bought from Minerva. I always go wrong with Minerva. It does have very little stretch. Don't know if you can see that. Chris's in the navy had way more stretch than mine. So I did the same. I put a nice bit of cotton jersey on the side pocket. I was really pleased with that. I put them on and they are snug. But I thought, oh, come on, they'll relax. It won't be a problem. I have to say they are not flattering at all on me. A, the colour, and B, another issue that I then had. They are very tight. Then it came to the cuffs. What am I doing with a different pair of cuffs, you ask? Cuffs number 1 were in the same fabric, and I have a picture for you because I almost had PTSD of when I was in a shop one day trying on some skinny jeans and I couldn't get my foot out of them. Pulled them on, took them off. I couldn't get my foot out of them. I was absolutely panicking, and my daughter told me the trick to peel them off inside out. I even tried that and I couldn't get them off. I was so stressed. So they came straight off. As you can see, it's just not enough stretch. Came off, put them in the bin. I thought, that's fine. I'll make them out of this cotton jersey. Again, made them out of this cotton jersey, and it is stretchier. No, same thing happened yet again. I could not get my feet in, and if I did get them in, I couldn't get them out again. So I thought I want to finish this project now, so I'm going to have to get some ribbing, and the only colour ribbon I had that would go anywhere near this was this one. Now, I mean, I suppose if I'd have done the waistband in that, then maybe that colour it'll work, but these are a temporary thing. I haven't finished them off yet, so I've just sewn them on. I haven't finished any of the edges, because if I ever come across any better colour, then I will do that. But why am I not bothering and going shopping for a different colour? Because I'm only ever going to wear them in the house. I'm never going to go outside in a pair of these joggers that really don't look great at all. They don't look great at all. Obviously, I've got the photo of my husband and I in them. It doesn't matter. It's a pair of joggers. But what I learned yet again, that even if you make something in the same size in a slightly different fabric, the outcome will be different. And maybe I've learnt a lesson about whether I buy polycotton sweatshirting fabric or polyester. Maybe the polyester makes it slightly more stretchy. Now, I have also been busy doing lots of other little things as usual. First of all, I made a couple of more pencil cases. I did a bit of a clear out of the sewing room. Now, this used to be my daughter's bedroom. And in one of the cupboards, I've got many cupboards down the side, was a huge tub of pencils and pens that she'd had as a child going through the years. And for some reason, I'd just thrown them all in there. Well, when I had the grandsons last week, we went through this whole pot. We were organising things that worked, things that didn't work, all my daughter's smelly gel pens and things like that from the 90s. So we sorted all that out. And I ended up with loads of colour pencils and drawing pencils, which I sharpened, and they're all beautiful now. But of course I needed 2 more pencil cases. And this is just very simple. I just make these, they got the layer of batting in. I do the zip like that on the angle, so when you put it on the table you can see inside. That's got a chunk, a chunk of pencils in there. And this one, oh look at this fabric. Oh. So yeah, again, same thing, but as you can see, if you do the zip on the side just like that, just like an inch down, it just makes it brilliant for when it's sat on the table. You can see what's inside. So amazing. I have a brilliant new supply of pencils, and I love making little things like this, so that was a treat. Just a quick thing, when I was looking for fabric for those fab quarters, I came across, a couple of months now, I went to a charity shop and there was some fat quarters rolled up, which I thought were fat quarters rolled up like this, and I hadn't taken out the elastic band until I started to kind of look for something the other day. What I didn't realise is they are 2 squares. You've got that one there and this one here. And it said, the northern woods are filled with life, cabin, sweet cabin. Isn't that amazing? So I'm going to have to turn these into cushions without a doubt. I'll get some kind of matching backing and I'm going to turn these 2 into cushions, because that's obviously what they were for, unless they were for a quilt and they were some quilting panels. But yeah, I was really pleased with that, so I thought I had to share that with you. Now, what else have I got to say? I have been heavily influenced by obviously Sharon Sew's fantastic channel. We haven't seen much from her in a long time, but just recently she put out a video about making scrappy letters on t-shirts. Now I'll link that video below because it's fantastic. So the idea is using all your scraps, put them on batting, on letters, and then you can get some kind of words and just put them onto a sweatshirt or a t-shirt or whatever. Fantastic little sew along tutorial there. So, but I was watching that and an idea sprung in my head, which of course I had to abandon everything and jump on. Now, I'll put a picture in here because when that idea struck, everything just went to pot in the sewing room. I got my fabric scrap box and I was pulling stuff left, right and centre because I wanted all my Disney pieces, and the floor was a mess. But let me just show you what I then did. So rather than do letters, I went to the computer and I printed off a template for Mickey Mouse ears. Because I thought, what would be amazing if I did a fabric scrap thing like this and I put it onto the front of a sweatshirt for my daughter, and also maybe for me because we are due a trip in February. I think I've said that before. So I did. I got all the scraps and I have so much Disney fat quarters. It was perfect. And I did a rough one for myself. Now, I've said this before as well, haven't I? What I ever make, if a tester, always ends up on my garments rather than everybody else's. But I have to say it came out really well. So I just traced that onto a piece of batting, similar to Sharon said in her video. And then I sewed some strips and I decided to do it sort of on an angle. As I would say, I was very much playing with the idea at this point. So sewed them all on an angle, and then I got this mess. I'll put the picture in. But then of course it only really starts to come to light when you then cut it out. And after I cut it out, I ended up with this. Now I am pleased with it. I don't like these two colours together, which is why it'll end up on mine. But as you can see, we've got all different bits. You've got Winnie the Pooh, you've got Minnie, you've got a couple of bit of Mickey feet, but you've got the Mickey Mouse there, and a little Piglet. Had to squeeze Piglet in. But I thought what would be really cool is if you put it on a sweatshirt. Now I'm going to do another one for my daughter. So what I've done, rather than make so I'm just trying to battle with a sweatshirt on a hanger. Rather than make her a sweatshirt, because I'm not going to have much time. If you can imagine, this is a cheap sweatshirt I bought for her. But if you can imagine, I will then sew that on the front. And I know it's bright and I know it's gaudy, but this is Disney, isn't it? And I think that would work really, really well. Obviously, then you just zigzag around the outside. Now, I could, of course, do Disney, couldn't I, in letters, D-I-S-N-E-Y, across the same thing. But actually, that will be harder to put onto a ready-made sweatshirt because appliquing it is going to be difficult. Whereas this, you can access the front, can't you, and put it on, it'll be fine. So that won't be my daughter's, that'll go on mine. But I've cut out some much better sort of colour strips for her. Got some blues and things like that. So I can't wait to give that another go. So it's things like this, when I suddenly think of an idea, everything goes to pot and I just have to act on it. So I'm really pleased with that. And now I will probably make myself a sweatshirt for that to go on. But the one I make will go on this sweatshirt here. I was on quite a creative buzz this week, and I decided that downstairs we needed some more placemats for the kitchen. So it's just Chris and I 99% of the time, and I wanted to make some placemats. Now I've made loads for Christmas, but obviously I wanted different ones. So I went through my fat quarters and I had this kind of kitchen-ish, gardeny, kitchen-ish type fabric. So I thought, brilliant, I'll use those. But we're going to be using them every day. And we spill stuff, or a drink will spill stuff, or mark stuff. So I thought, what can I do? Then I remembered I had this stuff in the cupboard, Oddicoat. Now this is, fabric becomes oilcloth, it says. This is something you just paint on to cotton fabric and it creates a kind of waterproof layer. Brilliant, I thought. So a bit of a faff, but I got the 2 fat quarters and I just painted them with this stuff. So you can do 1, 2, 3 layers. I've done 2 layers. The funny thing was though, I wanted a big paintbrush for this, but my husband's drum kit was in the way in the garage to get to the paintbrushes. So I ended up using a small brush, as you will see in the photo. It would have taken so much less time if I'd have had a big paintbrush. Never mind, I did it. 2 coats, and I ended up with these, which of course I think you can hear that now. That is got kind of a waterproofy layer. So just perfect for the kitchen, or even perfect for a child's mat as well. So I bought this stuff to make a bum bag, fanny pack for, but I never used it. So I was really pleased that I kept it. But yeah. So just two simple, very simple mats there for the kitchen, but now they're waterproof. So the last thing I have to show you is my sewing box, subscription box. This is what I get every month. It's a set of fat quarters and there's normally a pattern. I have to share these with you. In fact, I received this box last Friday and I was gutted that my Friday Sews video had already gone out because I just wanted to show you these. They are just amazing. So the pattern this time is what they call a taco. Yeah, taco pouch. Brilliant. Can't wait to, I will make that. But look at these fat quarters. They are, hold them up for you. Let's see. Look at these colours. They're so rich. And they're beautiful quality. That's what I like about these fat quarters. I've got lots of cheap fat quarters and then I got these lovely ones, and I will always try and use these ones. So I've got that. They then included a lovely purple zip this time and this thread. So I will hopefully next week make up that taco pouch. Oh, we've got the pattern as well. So as I say, you can do whatever you want with the fat quarters, but I do like making patches, so I'm going to have a go at that one. I just love those fat quarters. It was quite an exciting week on my channel this week because look what came back, my fabric wheel, and thank you so much for all the great support I got about this. I love doing this as much as you love watching it. I love the decision being taken away from me. It was what fabric I'm going to sew next. So in my first video, which I will put a link up below above, it landed on this double brush poly, which actually was the easiest out of all the fabrics that are sat on this wheel. So it kind of got me in gradually into this whole wheel of fate thing again. I'm 99% there with the project, and that video will be out next week. So I won't tell you anything more about it, but yeah, so that's the first results. And as I said in my video, I would love as many people as possible to just give this a go in whatever format. Choose some fabrics that you keep bypassing, and we've all got those, and just pick them out randomly and make yourself sew them up, because I'm so pleased that in a couple of months, say, I will have all these pieces made up because the wheels told me to. And that's it, they're done. They're made up into something, and I'm hoping they'll all be successes, but we'll see. So yeah, the results of the first spin will be out next week, and I am using the hashtag fabric wheel of fate. I put it up on Instagram, so if you're involved or want to have a go, put your pictures up there of how you're going to do it, like the wheel or just some envelopes or dice, and then what you make along the way. So what am I going to be sewing next week? I'm not really sure. I'm going to get another one of those Disney emblems sorted out, without a doubt. We are going to be away in just over a week, so I might have to make some things for that. We are going somewhere very cold. We're off to Austria to see some real snow. Although we've had flurries this week in the south coast of England, but nothing more than flurries. Never settled, never pitched as we call it. So that's a bit sad, but we're going to see some real snow in Austria in a couple of weeks. So next week I will be busy finishing off my fabric wheel, probably some bits and bobs, and you know me, I'll probably make the taco pouch and then I'll do something else. I think I need some more acacia knickers made up, so I hopefully will have lots to show you next Friday, even if it's not an amazing garment. I may need some things for the evening though. I may need some evening wear, so maybe I will make a tunic or something. So we have, as I've just touched on, we've had some very cold weather. We had a great spell of very cloudy weather. But last Thursday we had the most beautiful day. The skies were blue. It was amazing. So I had the boys to look after because school wasn't back, so I took them down to the beach. It was freezing down there, but we were well wrapped up, and oh my goodness, we took a picnic lunch, sat up on the cliff, and then we walked down. We went to Southbourne Beach and we walked down, and the boys had a whale of time in the sand. Now, I didn't anticipate that at all, so I didn't take any buckets or any spades. So they were making things with their hands and they wouldn't have their gloves on, and they must have been absolutely frozen, but kids are kids, aren't they? Some great waves coming in. So I've got some wonderful photos of our beach trip down there. And then I did a walk this week with my Ramblers group, and the skies were blue again, and we got to a point with a beautiful view. So some very waterlogged fields, but I will put that in as well. This weekend, we have a weekend at home. We've got to get the suitcases out the loft and plan all our stuff, because obviously we're going somewhere very cold, so we're going to need a sort of salopettes. We're not skiing. We used to ski every year. Now we're older. We do a lot of snowshoeing. We love doing that, and we just walk. So I've got to get all the winter stuff out of the loft, all the big, heavy, thick stuff, and go through it. So we're not going anywhere this weekend. So as I always say, I think that's about it for this week. It might be a short one this week. I do hope you enjoyed my review of the Hudson pants. And I think going forward, if I'm going to buy something like sweatshirts, I'm going to buy it from a physical shop. It was just that case where I needed something quickly, and just bought the wrong stuff, I think. That's all it was. But Hudson pants pattern is a fantastic pattern, and I've had success with that before. So not the pattern, just the fabric. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate your time and for watching, and I love chatting with you in the comments. So I'll just wish you a very happy weekend and week ahead. Hope it's full of lots of crafting time, or sewing, or knitting, or whatever. I do hope you have a great time, and I will see you very soon. Goodbye for now.